Hey, folks, my guest today is Rajesh Jain. He's the founder of NetCore Cloud, a global marketing technology company that offers AI powered marketing automations and analytics solutions. Rajesh, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yes.
All right. So this is an interesting platform. We could say you're maybe one of the OGs in the marketing automation space. That means original gangster. So tell us what you're building. What are customers paying you for?
Yeah. So we got a full stack MarTech platform. So if I'll put it in comparison to what US companies do, so it'll be easier for people to understand because we do a lot of things. We come from India. Emerging markets have been our playground so far, and we are now working to expand in the US and Europe. Now, so we have at the lowest end, we have a communications layer, which is like Twilio SendGrid, API plus campaign management. Then we have engagement, customer engagement for B2C companies, like what Braze offers. And then there is the experience layer, product experience. So nudges and A/B testing inside there, like Pendo, which does for B2B companies, we do for B2C companies.
Yep. So it's like then, Braze plus Twilio plus Pendo.
Yeah, Pendo for B2C. And then there is also search. So search personalization recommendations, a bit like Dynamic Yield and Nosto. And we recently acquired a company for $100 million, basically invested, and one of the largest deals out of India in the SaaS space. It's a company which primarily operates in the US, company called Unboxed. And they essentially do search recommendations, so on-site search, exactly what Amazon does on its site when you do the search for other sites. So B2C companies, D2C companies, retailers, they do recommendations, and they do PIM, the product information management.
Now, Rajesh, are you mainly selling to e-commerce brands?
Oh, yes. So all our customers are basically B2C companies globally, very big in emerging markets. So India, Southeast Asia, Middle East, and Africa. And we've got now about 40 customers that NetCore has directly in the US, and about 100 odd customers that Unboxed has in the US. So pretty significant presence now in the US also.
How many total customers is NetCore working with, including Unboxed customers?
So NetCore totally has about 5,000 customers. But we have a few other products which basically add up to this. In the communications and MarTech space, we would have about 1,000 plus customers.
I see. Very cool. Now, talk to me about the Unboxed deal here for a second. They had raised 14.5 million from some VCs as well, right? So when you guys put in 100 million, were you buying 100% equity or just a majority, 60%?
We've bought 90% in the company. Founders own 10%. The remaining 10%, they continue to run the company. Pawan and Prashant, great team there. So investors are out, we are in, and we'll work together. There's a great cross-sell opportunity actually with Unboxed, because Unboxed customers can now get the rest of our stack, so email, engagement, etc. And we can take Unboxed to our customers across India and emerging markets.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here, and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. Now, just to, Rajesh, paint a picture here, this is a great setup, obviously, for those two founders, because now they're building with you, and maybe they obviously have some equity in the combined company, but they had raised $14.5 million total. Their last round was a Series C in 2017 for $12.5 million. Now, if they were raising $12.5 million, that was probably at a valuation at around $100 million. So now 3-4 years later, they're effectively selling for $100 million, right? So this was not a big win for the VCs that had money on, right?
I think VCs got a reasonable return, I think, on their investment. And actually, the way we got to look at it is that they had multiple rounds of VCs. So the early VCs, of course, got a bigger multiple. And I think what for Unboxed, basically the advantage that NetCore really brings in is that we bring in additional capital, we bring in our capabilities, our customers across the region, and for their customers, I think the ability to actually have a fuller solution. So with what NetCore also does, email engagement, and that essentially, and I think we are seeing this happen in the SaaS space, is that marketers basically over time will want to work with fewer vendors. So there's a consolidation which is happening. And I think the other big thesis that we've been working on is really the big shift which will happen from ad tech to martech. And I can explain that, Nathan.
I would love to. I don't want people to get lost here, though, on the headline, which is you guys have some significant scale. You reported to the Economic Times, I believe, last year that you broke a $75 million run rate. Is that accurate?
Yes. So we are ourselves at about 85 now, and we add Unbox 10 million. So we are very close to 100 million ARR now, and completely bootstrapped.
That's my favorite part of this whole story. Completely I love. You should be on the cover of every magazine, on every billboard. People should be celebrating. When did you found the company? What year? Okay, so I founded it 25 years ago.
Wow. After I sold my first company for $100 million.
Wow.
And when it was India's first internet portals, basically targeted at Indians and Indians globally, especially in the US.
What was that first company?
India World.
India World.
Yes.
Was it a media business?
We had a family of internet portals. So I set up India's first internet portals in March 1995. So I started just around the time Yahoo and eBay did. So I was very early. I did it pretty much all from India. And we got a very good exit when Satyam Infoway, which was listed on NASDAQ, SIFI, bought my company for $115 million, primarily pretty much all cash. In November 99, we sold, I think, at the right time, just before the NASDAQ.
Yeah, that's amazing. And were you the sole founder there?
Yes, we were. So India World and NetCore have one thing in common, and you love this one. We are both what I call proficons. So profitable, private, promoter bootstrapped, and highly valuable. Highly valuable, excess of $100 million.
What was the word you just used?
Proficon. So like unicorn, proficon. So PROFICORN.
I love that. I'm stealing that. Proficorn. I love that.
Yes, Proficon. Absolutely, Nathan.
Okay, so give us more history here. $95 million run rate today, $75 million in 2021. What year did you break $1 million in revenue? You launched in 1998.
Yeah. So we've had a few pivots along the way. So the first 10 years, NetCore did not grow much. And we hit about $1 million, I would say, in 2007 or 8, thereabouts. And we've basically got two streams. So we have the high margin business, what we call the high margin business, the platform business. So that's email, MarTech, and all the other things that I spoke about. We also have, and that we sell globally. We also have an SMS business, which we only do in India. SMS, of course, is a little lower margin. And the revenues are split between these two businesses for NetCore. SMS also is doing very well. So basically, we combine CPaaS and MarTech together. So like Twilio has, we don't do much of voice, but other than that, all of the full stack basically. So the way I think of it is that the trend is really towards digital experience platforms really. So other than the content part, DXPs and big and emerging markets, and now looking to grow, of course, more aggressively in US and Europe.
Okay. Fill out the revenue story though for me. So $1 million in 2018. What did you have in 2015 revenue wise? Do you remember?
2015. I don't remember. See,
when did you break 10 million?
Yeah, I think we would have been over 10 million. Yeah.
Okay. And what about 2018?
2018 would have been, I'd say about 50 odd million.
Okay. So you had a lot of growth from 2015 to 2018. In 3 years, you grew from 10 million to 50 million.
Yeah.
What drove most of that growth?
So two things. Basically, the big drivers have been that SMS grew in India. And we also expanded the platform business outside of India. So the challenge for us is that the Indian market is actually quite small. Even though the customer base is very large, companies don't pay a lot of money yet. So the email market plus the MarTech business put together would probably be just about $150 odd million across, maybe 200 million across India and Southeast Asia. So if we have to grow, we've got to expand outside. And over the last 3 years, the real growth has come from our platform business and not as much, we haven't focused as much on the SMS business because SMS is low margin, a lot of operator involvement, and we only do that in India, but it's a healthy profit margin business. But where we see the future growth coming really is, and of course, the valuation of the business comes from the MarTech side of the business, email and the MarTech side.
Now, you said that you're eyeing 150 million in ARR by 2024. I think you're going to beat that.
Oh, yes. Now with NetCore plus Unboxed together, I think we should be doing much more than that. We're also planning to do an IPO in India in about 12 months' time. Yes. And we are 25% owned by employees. So I've got to make sure they also get some wealth creation.
I love that. Okay. So the equity today, you own 75%, employees own 25%.
Absolutely.
I love this. Okay. 75 is Rajesh. Okay, great. And then I guess take me back, profits are a beautiful thing. I rarely get to talk about them on the show though, because so few people have them. So we should talk about them, right? So when you did 75 million last year, how much profit?
So our profit margins have basically been about 17 to 18%.
You said 17?
Yeah.
So you profited about 12, 13 million last year, something like that.
Yes. So
a million a month.
Yeah, million a month is what we've been doing.
And then
that's how the internal accruals have been, Nathan. Which help us,
the what?
The internal accruals to help us do the acquisition. So the profits basically we've used to invest into Unboxed.
Yep. Now, did you go raise debt to do that Unboxed deal, or it was 100 million of your own money?
We are debt free, zero debt.
So where'd you get 100 million from if you're only profiting like 10 million a year? Your bank had 100 million in it and you used it on Unbox?
We've been profitable for 15 years.
Wow. So before Unboxed, how much cash did you have in the bank? Like 120, 130 million?
Yeah, just over 100. So plenty.
Okay. So was that, that must be a little nerve wracking, right? You're spending almost all of your cash balance on one deal.
Yeah. So here's basically what we look at it is Unboxed is a great asset. And I think now that we've got the critical scale, it also allows us to tap the public markets. We could have gone public in India probably even a year earlier. But what I wanted was a story which combines, which is a global company, not just India and emerging markets, but also with a significant presence in the US. And that's what Unboxed gives us. It gives a fuller stack also. And I think the future really is going to be more on there's going to be more consolidation. So we want to look at funds raised from the IPO. So we get a currency plus we get cash, both for the consolidation as we go forward.
Rajesh, I imagine a lot of people have tried to buy you. Don't tell me who, but what's the size, the dollar amount of the most recent acquisition offer you turned down?
We haven't got too many acquisition offers, Nathan.
Why not?
But see, companies like us should basically, I'd say, profitable companies, not too many in this space. Emerging markets are going to grow very well. going forward. We've got some great innovations coming up. Email 2.0, what we call the Martech 2.0 stack also, which basically brings in a lot of AI for predictive segmentation, etc. Email 2.0 brings in some very interesting ideas to transform email, which has been around for a long time. I'd say that companies like ours should basically, we got a mix of CPaaS and the high and the platform business. I'd say we'd probably be valued anywhere between 6 and 10 times revenues, and maybe with some bonus for being profitable.
I know you deserve a bonus. So maybe $800, $900 million valuations. If you IPO in 12 months, you could be, IPO at like a 1.5, 2 billion valuation, something like that.
Hopefully, I don't want to preempt the markets. You know how they've been.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I see. I think for us, the intermediate valuations are not that critical because I really want to build it, as Jim Collins puts it, an enduring great company. We've been around for 25 years, and we want to be around for another 100 years.
I love that. Talk to me a little bit about churn. What's your net dollar retention today?
About 123% in net.
And how much of that is coming from expansion?
About I'd say about 13 to 15% in expansion.
Well, I guess, sorry, to get net dollar retention, you subtract your churn, you add back your expansion. So shouldn't your expansion be more than 23%?
No. So, okay. So let me correct that. I meant basically, I thought what you meant was the growth from existing accounts. Yeah, NRR, you're talking NRR, right? Not the GRR number. Yeah.
NRR.
Yeah, NRR would be roughly about 30%. We have churn of roughly about 5%, so 5 to 7%. So that's
monthly?
No, annually.
Annually, okay. Got it. So you're churning 5 and you're expanding like 30%. So net retention is like 125, something like that.
And our platform business is growing totally about 45%. So you add another 25% and 20 plus percent in new customers.
I see. And Rajesh, how many folks are full-time on the team today?
We are 750 people in NetCore, another 150 people in Unboxed.
Okay. And how many engineers total?
Engineers is about 175.
Wow. Okay. And how many sales reps that carry a quota?
Oh, that's 175 in NetCore and add maybe another 60 in Unboxed. I've got to add now both the companies. We still run them independently.
Okay. How many sales reps with a quota?
Sales reps would be about 100 plus.
Do they all have a quota?
I would say 65 to 70 would be a quota. So what you've also got to remember in NetCore is we've got 2 smaller businesses also, which have been our legacy businesses. So they also have about 100 plus 125 people working on those. Mm-hmm. So we have essentially Linux-based and Linux, and we resell Office and Google Gmail in India. That's been a legacy business. We have also our own Linux-based server. We also do some amount of acquisition, so ad tech type business. It helps us get into companies. The mail server business has been around for a long time. So we basically resell security and infra solutions for companies in India largely.
Well, and you have huge penetration in India, right? I think you said 75% of India's email traffic and 50% of Asia's email traffic goes through NetCore Cloud, right?
Absolutely. So we do 18 billion emails a month. Which is, I think, which would be among one of the largest ones. I mean, we are probably one of the few independent email companies left in the world, given that most of the other companies have been acquired.
Emails per month, you said, right?
Email per month, yeah. 18.
Yeah, it's incredible. All right, Rajesh, heck of a story here. Let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite book?
Favorite book is Jim Collins, the book which came out about a year and a half ago, Beyond Entrepreneurship 2.0.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
So essentially, I think a couple of our competitors, basically, I think Twilio has done a fantastic job. There's a lot to learn from Twilio and, of course, Salesforce. Mm-hmm. Both the CEOs, I think, have a lot to teach us on how to build very big SaaS companies.
Rajesh, number 3, besides your own, what's your favorite online tool for building NetCore?
Online tool for? Nathan, I missed
online tool that you use to build the company.
Oh, we use Salesforce a lot internally.
Yep.
And Freshworks.
Yep. Of course, Gearish with a nice comp for you in the public market.
Yes.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Oh, I get about 6.5 to 7 hours of sleep every night.
And what's your
I
situation?
wake up at 4:30, so I sleep early. So this is late for me by my standards.
Oh, amazing. What's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Okay, married for 29 years
Wow.
and have a kid who's 17 years.
Okay, so one kid?
One kid, yes.
Okay, and how old are you, Rajesh?
I'm 54. I'll be 55 in August.
54 years young. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Okay, so I wish someone had told me how important things other than engineering would have been, especially economics, psychology, a lot of these disciplines, the liberal arts basically, are something I think I realized the value of liberal arts pretty late in life. So I wish I had known that when I was 20.
Guys, we found a gem today. It's so rare. A profitable company doing almost $100 million in revenue. Launched in 1998. They broke $1 million revenue in 2008, $50 million in 2018, $75 million last year. They did their first acquisition, paid over $100 million of cash, which was about 90% of their total cash in the bank at the point. So a big bet, added on $10 million of revenue, but it helps Rajesh build out a full stack and move into the US market with an acquisition company called Unbox. They're looking at an IPO in the next 12 to 24 months. We will see what happens. Rajesh, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Great conversation.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.